Hey there, guys. So today we have another review, and this is a beer from Foley Brothers, a relatively new brewery from Vermont. I actually just visited the brewery, and this is their Fair Maiden double IPA. I actually first reviewed this in a Battle Beers about a year and a half ago against Heady Topper, the infamous Heady Topper. What an amazing beer. And this beer actually defeated it by a slight edge, and that really shows you how amazing the early batches of this beer was. And then later on, I'd say about 6 months ago, I had this beer again, was very disappointed. I believe it was issues of freshness. I don't really know what was up. It was just it tasted old. And I don't really know I reached out to the brewery, couldn't figure out what the deal was. So I just went to the brewery today. Awesome stuff. I'll talk about the brewery in a second. But I'm very excited to talk about this batch. It is brand new. I believe they bottled it maybe a couple days ago, if anything. And so just came back from a Vermont trip, the first review. So let's dig in. Very hyped, very excited to see how this beer stands up to what I remember it tasting like. So let's dig in. And my palate's still pretty fresh, and I still have the imprints of Heady Topper cans on my memory because that is available when you're in Vermont at the restaurant. So let's dig in. The beer comes in a wonderful orange color, hazy orange color. Nice and amber, but not super hazy, just like a reasonable haziness. Nice bright orange color. By the way, again, this is a double IPA brewed with 7 hops. They don't actually disclose it. And say this again. Wow, very nice. Wow, that is sort of what I remember. Very peachy, intensely passion fruity, lots of juicy orange. In the back, a wonderful dank quality. This is like stinky herbs and a little bit of like almost a burnt rubber tire kind of thing. Yeah, just a really intense, huge herbaceous note. Really nice. Wow, really wonderful balance of a sweet bready malt, a lot of juicy orange, peaches, pineapple. Yeah, like I just had some cooked pineapple, a little bit of cooked pineapple kind of flavor, aroma. Dank quality in the back, really awesome stuff. Cheers. Okay. Not as explosive on the palate. Yeah. Actually, just had this beer at the brewery, so I sort of was expecting this, but very good beer still. Very good beer. Not as blown away as the first time I had this beer. So, up front, first thing you notice is it's just not as like hoppy as the aroma. Doesn't explode, and it reminds me a little bit of the like good aromatics, but very much the flavor. That quote unquote bad batch they had of this beer, and maybe they just have been trying to adjust their brewing, but because this really does not. Oh, sorry about that. Spontaneous stuff. This does not pop like that. In general, it does have a nice kind of fruity flavor. Lots of juicy orange, a little bit of tangerine, a little bit of juicy grapefruit. Lots of citrus zest on the back end, a little bit of pithiness. I get a little bit of dank and pine on the back end as well. Wonderful kind of combination of flavoring of hops. A really nice biscuity malt in the middle. It offers like a little bit of breadiness, but it's very crisp. It's really wonderfully balanced kind of malt quality. I would almost compare it to Pliny, maybe a little bit like that, or sort of the West Coast style, West Coast 2.0 kind of beers where you are offering a little bit of bready malt, but you're not really pushing it too much. Just giving the beer a little bit of breadiness, a little bit of chewiness, a little bit of sweetness. As I'm drinking and as it warms up, I'm getting a little bit more of the flavors going on, but it really just does not pop like Heady Topper. And again, I had the beer side by side with Heady Topper, and does not pop like that. So, but still very good stuff. Speaking about the brewery, by the way, definitely check it out. If you, it's a pretty small joint. I'll show you guys pictures, and yeah, it's really awesome. You get 5 tastings of beers. Their beers were pretty darn good. I mean, this again is a very good beer. They also had a session IPA, another new double IPA from them, which I actually prefer this one, so that's why I'm reviewing this and got a bottle of it. They had a really amazing brown ale, one of the best I've ever had, and also a Imperial barrel-aged brown ale, which was okay. Interestingly enough, in the same building, attached, or pretty much in the same building, is, I think it's Neshobe Winery. And it's very strange to sort of have a brewery tap room kind of thing next to a wine tasting room. And it turns out that it is actually, I guess, the vineyard or winery of the Foley brothers' mother. So had a wonderful conversation with her. Very interesting stuff. Yeah, basically the Foley brothers had been working for this winery, and they ended up, realizing that craft beer was exploding, and they ended up opening a brewery, but the vineyard still exists. So they're pumping out wines, and got to taste their wines. Pretty awesome stuff. Definitely check it out. They actually have a black currant wine, like no grapes, just black currant. It is amazing. It is a combination of almost the amazing meads that are coming out of the Midwest and sort of like a wine, like a fortified wine. Amazing stuff. This beer, going back to it, just quick rant about the brewery. A little bit of doughy quality, really nice. But I really just wish it popped a little bit more. It just has an underlying sort of hop flavor, and a really nice kind of malt quality. You know it's a double IPA, but it doesn't like show itself. It really is, again, almost like a masked double IPA. It almost tastes as if, yeah, it sort of, you pulled the hops out a little bit. It's just lacking somehow. But it still has some pretty good flavors. Very clean, very drinkable double IPA. Still very much like it. I'm very torn on this one. As I'm sitting here, still good stuff. Let's give it a 94. Maybe I'll adjust it in the rating below after I work on this. But still very good stuff. Just wish it really, it's not the 100 out of 100 that I remember the beer being. I don't know what happened. But yeah, very good stuff. Until next time, guys. Cheers. Later.